Welcome everybody to the Scale Up Show. This is your host Ryan Staley, and I have a very special guest with me back, Aytekin Tank, who is the founder and CEO of the bootstrapped organization Jotform. He is also the author of Automate Your Busy Work and is a frequent author on Forbes. Some cool articles he wrote is why now is the best time to become a solopreneur and how AI can make good teams great. Welcome. Happy to have you on the show back for part 2.
Hello, Ryan. Great to be back.
Yeah, man. We're wearing the same clothes and everything, so it's crazy. So, but yeah, I think where we left off, and you were going on deep on kind of your journey and how you got here, how it started off slow, and then started to take off based on what you did by transforming how you manage people, but then also really leaning into automation and delegation. And then what I've seen you write about recently is AI and productivity. So let's talk about the key framework of how to automate your busy work. What can you share on that? What was your framework for leveraging that and basically cutting your time spent on menial tasks like email almost 70%?
Yeah, sure. So on the book, Automate Your Busy Work, I go into more details about, the automation first mindset and the automation flywheel, but I could give you a quick rundown. So the automation first mindset is about kind of really understanding, like there are four important principles. The first one is clarify your priorities. It's important to understand how you spend your time so that you can prioritize what's important for you. So one of the things I recommend is like doing time audits so that you see actually how you spend your time. Then so that you could do like you could like use a spreadsheet to track how you spend your time. Just make a note every hour, and at the end of the week, you look at the totals and you ask yourself two questions: what should I spend my time on, and what shouldn't I spend my time on? And the second question is more important. So it's not just about like saving time. It's not just about like just spending 4 hours, going to beach and just working 4 hours. It's actually about like using your time wisely. And it's also about like enjoying the work, right? If you are actually spending your time on things that you don't enjoy and just wasting your time, what happens is that you burn out, you lose your motivation. It's just all the things you can accomplish, like you're just wasting those really productive times, your energy on things that you shouldn't be spending your time on. And so it's about figuring out your priorities. For example, for me, in the morning, that's my best time. And what I will do is like I'll go to gym and I will take a shower and I will like have my coffee. And what I don't do is like I don't look at like news. I don't look at the social media. I don't check my emails. I don't look at my notifications. But what I will do is like I will ask myself, and I will launch this text editor and just start writing like what's the most important thing I can accomplish today. So once you figure out like what you should be spending your time and what you shouldn't be spending your time on, so you look into like automating all those things. And in the automation flywheel framework, I talk about how once you figure out the workflows, and it's not just one time task, but there are actual workflows. Because like you have to make a request from someone, and you receive a response. It's not just one of tasks. So it's important to automate those kind of things as well. So basically, I recommend just having a pen and paper, or you could use an online tool and just draw in those workflows. And this exercise also like makes you understand like how you actually spend your time, and how you like how much time you're wasting waiting for things, how much time like, and even just drawing those like workflow diagrams and flow charts is just going to save you so much time, because you're going to discover quick ways to do things as well. And once you discover them, you can start researching about all the automation products available, and then start applying them. So The second principle I talk about in the book is harness laziness and impatience. And Bill Gates said, he has a quote, I would always hire a lazy person to do a hard job because he will find an easy way to do it. Like, you should be getting tired of doing the same things over and over again. You should be looking into like automating them. And this is the age of AI now, and there are like hundreds and thousands of products available on G2. You could use these SaaS products to automate many things. So it's just you just need to take the time, and that's it. That's actually the third principle: make time to save time. So if you take the time to research available things, like if you take the time to learn, like prompt engineering or Chat GPT, and if you take the time to find out about all the available products that you could use on G2, you will discover that you're going to be able to figure out how to automate many things. And then I also talk about, in the automation flywheel, once you actually discover what you should automate, and once you design these automations and find the products that can help you automate, you're actually going into building your system. So it's the fourth principle is the embrace systems thinking. What you are doing is basically, once you start automating, you're actually building this system. You're building an operating system for yourself. You are building a system for your business or for yourself. And how do you build a system? How do you improve a system? You basically start to think differently. Like, instead of thinking like an individual contributor, you need to start thinking like a manager. So basically, instead of like doing things yourself, you are becoming a manager of automations. You are becoming a manager of all these automation products that you use, and you are becoming a manager of the AI you use. And what do you do as a manager, right? You need to decide. You need to first understand, like, what's your mission, like what do you try to reach, what's your end goal, and you need to decide, like you need to measure things. Like, you need to find out if your systems, your automations are working properly. So you need to have these KPIs, and you need to have these. You need to receive reports about your automations. You need to make sure that everything is working properly, and so that you can actually have an overlook. I give a lot of examples and, like, tools. Like, one of my favorite tools is a dead man snitch. Have you heard of that product, dead man snitch?
What's it called?
Dead man snitch, like dead man snitch. So it's basically, let's say, if one of your automations actually died, like one of the things that doesn't work, and it's like, dead. How do you know about it? Like, this product actually gives you reports you if something is broken, right? If something doesn't happen, right? Even if there is no error, like, if you are supposed to receive a report every week, if that report doesn't arrive, that can actually trigger an alert for you. It can check if something is broken and report to you, things like that. So so it's about, like, being this manager of your systems, and it's a continuous cycle. It's not just one step. You continue to pick and automate things, and then you make sure that you build your systems, and you keep adding to these systems, and that's how you scale, and how you go from this individual contributor just doing things manually to this person who is actually creating these systems and then managing these systems, and you're much more productive this way. Yeah, that's how you automate your busy work.
Okay, so love that. Dead man snitch is what you're talking about. That's what I thought you said, the way you described
Mhm.
it, but I was just making sure I was hearing you right, because it doesn't sound like
Yeah.
a product, right? But it makes sense, right? Like, it identifies if there's a broken automation, which is huge, right? Because you think things are humming along. So, like, let me dig into, so, and here's where I see the majority of people suffering or making the mistake of, is like, when you're in the process of making time to save time, right, and building out automation and systems, like, how do you allocate? And it's probably different now based on the size of the work that you are, but along the way where you're growing the company, maybe it hasn't changed, but how much time would you dedicate on a weekly basis to just systems work and building that out? Like, how did you approach that? Because most people spend too much time in the business instead of on the business, right? So, what's your thoughts on that?
You have to time box it. There is no other way. Like it's just like you are so busy that, and there's also, people are kind of scared. Like, I've always been doing this way, right? Uh, that's the answer you get, because people are used to doing it one way, and then it's just scared to take the leap and then automate something. So it's about being afraid of breaking things, and it's also not having any time to actually. But if you think about it, if you put in the time and if it works, you're gonna save so much time every week, every day. Just it's very straightforward. But it's just like we are always busy. But I think we have the time. We just need to make sure that we time box it. So that's why every morning, like I give myself 2 hours, and I don't start. I don't check my emails. I don't check social media. I don't check any others. That if there's something really really important, they will get to me, right? They will call me or something. But what I do is I ask myself the question: what's the most important thing I can work on? Just if I don't know what to do, like I will just start writing down, like on the second or third paragraph, I will just really figure out what's the most important. And sometimes I just need to take the time to learn something, right? Maybe this, like I'm just gonna read a book, right? They're like, I have hundreds of emails waiting for me, and people need something from me. I know that, but it's more important for me to read this book so that I can learn from that, because there is this great Eisenhower quote. He says that I have two kinds of problems: urgent and important. Urgent are seldom important, and important are never urgent. So what happens is
Wait,
that we are
so
always
could you stop for a sec? Could you repeat that? Because you cut out. I don't want anybody to miss the Eisenhower quote that you
okay.
said.
Yeah, Eisenhower says that said that he had two kinds of problems: the urgent and the important. The important are never urgent, and the urgent are seldom important. So what happens is that if something is really urgent and important, like we are aware of it, like someone will call me. Actually, it's just so big that you're not going to miss that. And things that feel like they're urgent, they just fill out all of our day. Like we receive this email, we receive this Slack message, like just we feel like, oh, I have to answer this right now. You don't actually have to answer that right now. They can wait. Like this, it's not the end of the world. But the important things are usually, they're not screaming at you. Like sometimes you have to like sit down and think about, like as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, like what do I need to take care right now, like what's the most important thing I should be working on right now. And if you don't ask that question, you are just going to be so busy that you're going to actually forget that like you have that important problem. And if you take the time, that you'll figure out that most of the time, like maybe you need to research, you need to read a book, you need to educate yourself, like you need to just take the time to think about it. Like, one of the ways that I try to think about something is like I just commit myself to like giving a speech about it. Like every week I actually do like I do like a 10-minute speech in front of the whole company. Just like if I feel like okay, I have to know more about this, I commit to myself that I'm gonna give a speech about this, and that actually forces myself to like really do the work, really do the research, so that I don't like do a bad job. And then I think about it, I research about it, and I give the speech, and just I learn about that important thing. And usually if I'm working on something important, it's also interesting for the team because it's something really challenging for our company. So it's about like prioritizing the important things, and yeah, it's about figuring that out.
Okay. Love that. Great feedback with the Eisenhower matrix, if you will. I think it's a great mechanism to use. How can AI make a good team great?
Um, yeah, that's a good question. So at Jotform, so we are working on AI. In terms of our products, we are you know using AI. And one of we are also adding AI to our product, but we have been using AI for the last 4 or 5 years. And what we did before was like so we have like these like 25 million free users, and we have this problem with like this phishing, fraud, and like people selling all kinds of illegal stuff and on online forums, like people doing spam using Jotform, like just we had all these problems. And in the past we would actually like try to catch them manually, like search for the words, like just it didn't work well. And so what we did was we started using AI. Like just what's great about AI is just it learns. So instead of like just manually finding these, problems, just we started building these AI tools so that are actually the support people who were actually finding these like fishers who are trying to steal like their people's passwords. They would just the this information became our training data, and then we started using that training data to write AI code to be able to figure them out. And that worked well, because the great thing is like whenever people like discover new ways to do them, just we still continue to do these manual reviews. And with machine learning, like we just continuously train our AI, and this way we can actually improve our system, and then just keep on preventing them from doing like spam or phishing and fraud. So that just saved us like so much, so much time this way. But of course, we use in this case we actually had developers to use this, use AI to be able to save time. And I know that you're also working on using AI with the with the with the salespeople. So maybe how about you? Like just tell us about maybe I became the interview. Can you tell us a little bit about
Yeah.
like how you do that?
Yeah, sure, man. So yeah, I get hit on that. So one of the things that I think that I've seen, actually, it's funny. There's like AI native companies or AI adapted companies that are like, I guess maybe because you guys have been around a while, I'd say you're AI adapted, where you're integrating into what you're doing, right? Even companies that are, I would say, ahead of the curve on the product side, haven't really looked at it through the lens of the people side, right? They think if they just give them ChatGPT or Copilot, they'll figure it out, right? Which is a good start. And some of the best innovation comes from individuals. However, I think there needs to be some like you're talking about, the most important thing of the day, right? Two of your largest costs are probably people and R&D and tech development, right? So if you look at it, you now have the ability to scale people if you just give them a way to collaborate, share, and innovate, just with simple tools like ChatGPT or Copilot or Gemini. And so what I'm seeing is like it's enabling people to basically use a general purpose tool like that, but specifically in a niche way for their job. And the results are staggering, because like just like you're talking about saving time or automating, like you could literally carve out 10 hours a week per person, but also making a C player a B plus player in the process. And
Yeah.
so like that is transformative in terms of my view of like the quality of work that they do, the outcomes they create, and then the retention for employees, because they're not doing a lot of the crap work that they don't like. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of what I'm saying. I don't know if you've looked into that or what your approach is on that, but that's kind of the way I view it.
One of the ways that we use AI is also like code reviews, right? It's just it just takes so much time when you have like a big engineering team, and like just you also have junior employees, and you and with AI now, this code review process, it becomes easier, because it's going to catch many types of code problems. Just using AI, you are going to be able to catch. We are able to catch those things. There's still a need for a human version as well, but because it's just AI is maybe AI may not know like what we prefer as a company, like what's our culture like. So it's but it can actually find some in some type of code problems. It can actually find them much more easily than humans actually. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's, I mean, it's awesome at pattern recognition. I had another founder on my show who has a CEO of Edge Delta. He was talking about, I'm like, he's like, yeah, we use it in our tech team all the time, in our engineering team. They use GitHub Copilot. And I'm like, well, what's the impact it's had? He's like, it's literally doubled the output that every engineer we've had. So they could do twice as much now. I was like,
And
wow.
in terms of our product, I think SaaS companies should focus on two types of different how they can integrate AI to their products. There are two ways that they can integrate. One way is like is copilots, and the other way is the agents. With copilots, no matter how much we try to make our like form builder easy to use, people are actually busy. They are tired. It's just hard to figure things out, right? But with the copilots, you can actually give people an option, and we have that, but we are only like a small number of people are actually using our product, Copilot. Just we are testing because we are actually watching every session, like every Copilot session. We are actually watching. Someone is actually watching, and then we are finding bugs, we are finding problems, like we are improving. For the last 6 months, we have been working on this Copilot. At Jotform, we'll probably release it in October. So it's like just they don't have to learn it anymore. Like just they
Yeah.
can just they don't have to use the UI. It's just they can just tell us what they need. And what we found was it's not just I think there is an even middle ground. Like just if we give them the copilot, but also allow them to like do things like the instant edit, kind of little bit, learn it little by little the product, still use the product little by little. Just it becomes much more easier to use the product because if they don't want to like deal with the form builder, they just tell whatever they need to do. But maybe they will find it easier to just go and edit the form themselves, just to drag and drop, instant edit. Those kind of things are people are already used to. Like there's not much learning curve. So this Copiles also allow you to like onboard users much more easily
Mm.
because there's a less learning curve, and people who don't want to learn, they don't have to learn. The second way is the agents. Agents are kind of different. Agents are just it's about giving people what they need. Like just like they don't even have to learn the product. They don't even need to maybe in terms of Jotform, maybe they don't even need to create a form. Whatever the end result they are trying to read, like taking for a hotel, for example, maybe people don't even need to see the form. People need to like converse with an agent, just get it done. Or just it's about reaching the end goal. And also we are also working on that, and we are also like just far away from like releasing what we have, but just we have we are working on really cool stuff as well. So it's about like those two things are gonna change. I think it's gonna be we are gonna start seeing it everywhere. As a existing SaaS product, if you don't do those things, someone else like some new hotshot startup will come and then they will build that product. Then so you have to kind of build it as well, like just because that's the way the world is going. And also, it's also an opportunity. It's very exciting. It's like I call it Jotform 5.0 because we rewrote Jotform like 4 times. So this is going to be like the 5.0 is just AI. Maybe there's no UI. Maybe just very little UI. People are just building what they need without a learning curve. Getting stuff done with AI.
That's exciting, man. I'm a big believer of agents too coming out. I think GPT-5 is going to be released later this year, and I think it's going to have agents in it, just based on everything that I'm seeing. And so that's going to put it on more people's radar. So the fact that you're ahead and working on it, I think is fantastic because it's definitely people are getting lazier and lazier, and they want to do less and less. So why can't it just do it for me? That's like the response all the time. So you're thinking multiple steps ahead. Unfortunately, we're up in time. We went longer this time, but that's okay, man. It was a fantastic conversation. So where can people find you? Where can they find more about you? And then we'll wrap it up.
It was a lot of fun. Thank you for having me. They can find me on my website, aytekintank.com, first name, last name.com. They can find my book and read a free chapter of my book in my website. And they can find Jotform at jotform.com, obviously. I have a contact form on my website. If they want to contact me, yeah, feel free to contact me. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, it was a pleasure having you on for part 2. Love what you're doing in the space. I just love how you made something huge out of nothing, and I think you have a refreshing approach with how you deal with people as well. So thanks for being on, man. It was awesome.
Thank you. Bye
All
bye.
right, and thank you for joining us as well. And we will see you all on the next episode.